Hi, everybody. This is Ellie Presser. So today we're going to be doing chapter 5 and 6 of Kashrut in the Kitchen, Sefardi edition. Because yesterday I accidentally didn't do a video because I had some personal issues to deal with. So today we're going to do chapter 5 and then another video on chapter 6. So here we go. Chapter 5. The prohibition of dairy bread. Because bread accompanies most meals, Chazal prohibited making dairy bread lest it accidentally be eaten with meat. Question 1. Is meat bread, quote unquote, also prohibited? Answer, yes, lest one eat it with dairy. This chapter refers to dairy bread only because it is more common than meat bread, but the same halachos apply to both. Question 2. May one bake dairy bread to be eaten by itself or with dairy? Answer, no. Parentheses, except in certain cases. See leniencies concerning dairy bread further on. All right. Question 3. What if milk was already kneaded into the dough? Answer, one may not eat it. Before it is baked, one can change the shape and bake it. Then it is permitted. Question 4. What if all local breads are known to be dairy? Answer, they are still forbidden since guests will not realize these breads are dairy. Question 5. Is this prohibition limited to bread? Answer, yes, since it is a staple food, although one opinion extends the prohibition to anything likely to be eaten with meat. The post can conclude that this halacha applies only to bread. Thus, if other parve foods became dairy, they may still be eaten, either by themselves or with dairy. Question 6. What if the dairy ingredients were less than 1/16 of the dough? Answer, the bread may be eaten even with meat. However, one may not deliberately prepare such dough in order to eat it with meat. If we do not know the exact percentage of dairy ingredients in a dough, we treat it as dairy if it tastes like dairy. Question 7. May one sample such a dough to find out if it indeed tastes dairy? Answer, yes. Question 8. What if milk accidentally fell into the dough or one did not know this halacha and it was done already? Answer, it is still forbidden lest one mistakenly eat it with meat. However, if one shapes the dough distinctively as a reminder of its dairy status, it may be baked and eaten. Question 9. Is it permissible to knead dough with water boiled in a pot used for dairy within the last 24 hours? Answer, one should not do it. However, if the water was already heated, it may be used and the dough remains parve. If the situation necessitates using a ben yomo dairy pot, see chapter 11. Question 10. Is it permitted to bake challah in an oven used for dairy or meat? Answer, see page 72, baking parve food. Question 11. What if dairy bread became mixed up with parve bread? Answer, one may taste each bread to determine which is dairy. Question 12. Question 12. May one heat bread on the lid of a boiling pot of meat? Answer, yes, even if the lid has reached the temperature of yad soledet, bow. The bread remains parve as long as the lid has no holes that could allow a steam to reach the bread. Question 13. If hot dairy bread touched parve bread, may the latter be eaten? Answer, yes. However, one should consider it to be dairy and mark it accordingly. If this is difficult, one may simply cut away a thick layer of 2 centimeters of the surface that touched the dairy bread, and the rest remains parve and may even be eaten with meat. Question 14. Is dairy bread permitted during the 9 days? Answer: no, since meat is sometimes permitted even during this mourning period, for example on Shabbos, a Sudat mitzvah, or in case of illness or weakness, one might mistakenly eat this bread with meat. Question 15. If milk splashed onto bread, may it be eaten? Answer: yes, but only if it splashed onto a small quantity of bread that can be consumed within one meal. Viewers, come chat with me if you wish. Leniencies concerning dairy bread. Question 16. Is there any permissible way to bake dairy bread? Answer: since the prohibition is because of concern that the dairy bread might accidentally be eaten with meat, the prohibition does not apply in the following cases where there is no such concern. When one bakes a small quantity of bread, when one shapes the dough distinctively, when the baked item is generally not eaten with meat, when it is baked with cheese on it in a recognizable manner. Baking a small quantity. It is permissible to bake a small quantity of dairy bread to be eaten with a non-meat meal that day, provided that none will be left over to be mistakenly eaten with meat. A small quantity means enough for one meal. Question 17. May one bake even a large quantity of dairy bread if it will be eaten in one meal by his family? Answer: yes. Question 18. If one mistakenly baked a large quantity of dairy bread, is it permitted to distribute a meal's worth to several families? Answer: no, since the bread is already forbidden. Question 19. May one bake dairy challahs for Shavuos? Answer: yes, but only for the first meal of Yom Tov. Question 20. May one bake a meal's worth of dairy bread and then freeze it? Answer: no, it must be eaten at the meal after it is baked. Shaping the dough distinctively. One may bake dairy bread even in large quantities if he shapes it distinctively as a reminder that it is dairy. The distinction may even be slight as long as it remains until all the bread has been eaten. Question 21. When must this distinction be made? Answer: before the bread is baked. Question 22. What if the distinction was made after baking? Answer: the bread may not be eaten. Question 23. If one does not shape the dough distinctively, is it sufficient to mark it dairy before it is baked with a sticker or wrapper? Answer: no. Since a marker is easily removed, confusion could result. However, if the bread was already baked that way, one should consult a Rav. Baked goods that are not eaten with meat. Dairy baked goods are permitted if this type of bread is not generally eaten with meat. Example: dairy cupcakes or croissants. Chazal prohibited only dairy bread because, as stated, bread accompanies all foods. Question 24. Why are we not concerned that someone might eat dairy pastry within 6 hours of eating meat? Answer: Chazal were not concerned about this possibility and enacted their prohibition only on something actually eaten together with meat or dairy. Therefore, we need not be worried about such a situation. Question 25. Is it permitted to top a pie of cake with dairy whipped cream or icing? Answer: yes. Question 26. If dairy bread must be distinctive, is it necessary to bake other foods that are obviously dairy in a distinctive manner? Answer: no. One may bake cheesecake or pizza any way one chooses, since, aside from the never being eaten with meat, each is clearly dairy. Okay, that's the end of chapter 5. In about 5 minutes, stay tuned. We will do a video on chapter 6. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks. Bye.